Hello everyone. Gladful that today I have a special guest. I guess none of you had experience talking with a guest I'm going to speak with today. So it's Victor Zaman. Victor is a professional fighter. He is also a trainer, and he is scouting the projects. So I will let Victor to better introduce himself, but we had recently many times talking each other about various things, and I'm really glad to meet Victor and also have him with our native community because he is special. So Victor, if you can tell a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you, Robert, for having me here. So yes, you said it right. I'm actually a professional ex-fighter. I had 85 fights all around the world. Originally also from Croatia. Moved to Dubai 10 years ago, and now having a family and working for Hive as a partnership manager, what you said. But yeah, the journey was pretty excited. Now, like being here in corporate world / startup, let's say, from entrepreneurship and fighting to this, it was a quite interesting journey. But this is in essence what was my journey look like.
I need to say, like me, having also a lot of experience, I also learned from Victor, and it's not like something easy. And the category is it's a Muay Thai, kickboxing, K1. That's the painful one, I would say.
Yes, it's a complete stand-up fighting. So Muay Thai has like so-called art of 8 limbs. So you're doing left, right punches, left, right kicks, knees, elbows, throws. This is the complete stand-up fighting in terms of the Muay Thai. K1 is something similar, the most toughest discipline of kickboxing as a sport, right?
Right.
So yeah, been there for like 15 years, built business in Dubai, and now for past 4 years being in the crypto and blockchain space.
So it requires like lot of skills because for me, like boxing is like one of the most popular fight that everyone knows, right? But here it must be like super painful, right? Because you not only you utilize like everything. Of course, like I mean you know better, yes. But if you have like a strong kick, it hurts much better than just a punch.
Look, every sport requires different skill sets. What would you say? And yeah, boxing is kind of the most complex, well-known. People were boxing for ages. Like one of the first Olympic sports was boxing. But
one of the wrestling, I think, right?
Yeah, but like also wrestling,
like
boxing,
one.
all kind of.
But wrestling is not that painful. Yes, you don't get a punch. You don't get a kick.
That's true. But look, any sport I said exists their own ways of skill sets, right? Mm-hmm. And punching is one of the how Mike Tyson said, everybody has a strategy until they get punched in their face. So yeah, like head is definitely the most important part of our body in terms of the brain, that it can get very easily. Exactly. So Muay Thai compared to boxing, it's kind of boxing, everything goes in head. Muay Thai, you can hurt other parts of the body, so it's like compensate, right?
Right.
So I don't know, I like that part of that. You have to be able to condition all parts of your body, not just like being ready to dodge or receive punches in head, but also condition your shin pads, condition your elbows, condition your stomach. Everything needs to be
more thinking. Yes, you have like this more complex thinking because
everything. I don't know. Like to be frank with you, I was reading one study about it, complexity of the sports, and apparently the boxing is one of the most complex sports compared to all sports.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Because like just by autonomy, by agility, by speed, by perceivingness, all kind of components in boxing, it has to be on top.
Perfect.
Yes, exactly. Compared to other sports, let's say, would be basketball because it's very fast, and then like ice hockey or this type of sports where you can really needs to react to every single,
You need to be ultra focused, right? Because you need to observe.
Oh, I love
like,
it.
Use the half, like the fraction of the second of the opportunity.
Correct.
To
even predict,
to score,
like
predict.
Yes, because like
a bit of chess, better, like a lot of agility, chess, thinking.
Training, toughness, mental strength. Yes, sir. So a lot of things are interesting in that sport, but kind of I was fighting, let's say, amateur. Like if you have a professional boxing, you have amateur boxing in terms of Olympic Games. So that type of, but again, it's a professional league where I had 85 fights, as I mentioned, and it was just the beautiful time of my life when I was studying and being able to be engaged in sport all my life.
Yeah, top level.
And gave me the opportunity to, as you mentioned, like meet right people, network, and start training them, and then got involved in the crypto, which is also fast-paced as the
it is. So I want to learn more about like the skills you developed during that time. If you can like share like what are the skills?
Skill sets. So definitely mental toughness, readiness, like discipline. Definitely discipline, mental toughness, readiness. What I said is more about being ready to execute things. What would you say, instantly, and meeting people sometimes means a lot, and meeting different industries, meeting different environments. It actually helped me to be able to move from one industry to another to that extent, like, because it's a complete shift to go from being a professional expatriate to being in corporate, sitting in the office.
So I know that you came to crypto through your experience, or with your profession as a personal trainer. Yeah? So you are still, I guess, a professional trainer.
Yes.
You are training some crypto OGs, yes, here in Dubai, and Dubai is a known place, yes, to have known people here. I mean, in my mind, like now it goes together when you talk about the discipline. Discipline is very important skill in entrepreneurship.
Correct.
Is it something that you also always put up front when you train?
Yes and no. Let's put like this. So first of all, entrepreneurship is the skill set which I'm learning consistently all my life, being in early stage of when I was younger, engaging myself into the opening a bar and didn't know anything what I could do it. So it sounds like very like, how is this guy now from fighting bar and now being in Dubai training people
and now scouting, right?
And scouting the companies and startups and founders, actually looking the potential in other founders who are building online enterprises. So it's all combined, but let's go stick into some kind of what you said about discipline and me being a trainer / coach. Training those type of founders who already succeeded, you have to know how to manipulate, what would you say, like going into their way, the way how they want to train. So it's a skill set again, balancing. Yes.
So on the one hand side, there is a line, I guess.
Exactly.
They know what you need to know what they want to hear, but at the same time you need to help
push
them to push them.
Exactly. So it's a balance always of that skill set, how much I can push them, and how much I can be observant to control, not to go to red zone, because a lot of also by yourself, being a entrepreneur and founder and then having a family, sometimes pushing yourself into red zone, it's not so
a lot of stress.
Exactly. So
and that can kill you, right? That's basically
yeah, it's a hard, not kill you, I wouldn't say, but like you can like overtrain yourself, similar to that aspect, right? You can easily go to the red zone, and you don't want to be always in red zone. You need to be like consistent, and that's more important to dedicate yourself with the discipline, right? Because for me, it's compound interest. What does it mean? Like every day 1% is better than nothing some days, or some days 5%, right? So every day consistency, 1%, it will give you that 365 days that you are actually advanced much more than the other population.
Yeah, I think it's also like, in a way that if you do something consistently, you develop that, the
Habit.
The habit, of course, yes, but that mental power, right? That it really strengthens you, makes you stronger, and more resistant to like this daily
So
problems.
I like that component. Why? Because like you are connecting your body skill sets. Like you are doing that, as you said, every day. You are training. You are pushing your limits, but it reflects to your mental capabilities, right?
Correct.
So this
trains
is
you. So you train like you have that not a full body, yes, but this complex training that it's not only about one objective, but you train different parts of your mental and the physical being.
It's awareness, right? You're trying to always get more aware of the environment in terms of getting yourself better. I love that part because that's the mindset of growth, right? So it all comes together: consistency, discipline, and growth mindset. So this is the values I also educate other people, and I value for myself, and this is why I'm like able to move from one space to another kind of easily, even though I know personally how hard it is, because being a fighter and then going into the crypto space where I didn't know anything about what is not about DeFi, stable coins, technology behind that. And now like I'm scouting, as you mentioned, like projects which are pretty complex, right, to understand how they can actually benefit the real world usage of the complete the industry we want to develop.
Do you have a sense already? I mean, like now working with many projects. I would also like to segue later a little bit to the community aspect, which is very important for me. Do you already have a sense of like finding or resonate about a project that is like rather a fun project or a scam? Because many scams are very highly sophisticated.
I see where you're coming, but I'll be frank with you. I'm a Bitcoiner by heart, so your project is very dear to me. So why I'm saying this, because I truly believe that there is some higher utility to the Bitcoin, which we still don't understand why to some extent. Whoever went deep dive, how they like to say, into Bitcoin community, we are living in some kind of strip of, okay, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Is there like really 21 million Bitcoins, or how we can even trust this code, right? And then all this decentralized world, and the of course I have more sense what is scam project, what is good project. So that's the reason I'm saying like your project is more dear to me, because it gives the ability that me, who never would like to go into the banking system and centralized finance, that I can have decentralized ability of loaning and collateralizing something which I got sense.
That's already like a next level. Yes. The first level is really like true ownership.
That's self custody, right? So
that's about notion of the self custody and the trustlessness of a system. So you don't need to trust any other party to use your assets, to use the framework, the protocols.
True. So that's how I evaluate, like, okay, just not your projects, but in a spectrum of projects which are coming. So a lot of projects, they don't have like the utility on the broader aspect. And you said like, what is scam project? I wouldn't say like scam project. I would rather call it like people where they don't have like utility to like
Oh, there are many scam projects.
No, but like there is scam to everything, right? Projects, right? The scam. I mean, it's hard word. People are trying to develop some things, but they don't having the.
That's true. That's many people have a good intention. They just want to make money, of course.
Of course.
Right, but then sometimes for them it's more important to make money. I mean, everyone wants to make money, right?
And then we call them a scam because it's jargon of the industry, but it's not necessary that they are scammers.
I mean, there are two, right? There are also some But you're right. Yes, probably there is like in our world we basically try to already phrase and put in that category people who just put their own interest above someone else.
You actually now knowing like that we are building this community, decentralized world, and you've been in this space for quite some time.
That's right.
You understand what does it mean like being a true scammer and trying to scam people, or trying to actually build the ecosystem, even trying for entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is based on trying. You believe that you will succeed, but eventually you fail. But no matter of the environment, you can fail because
I mean, eventually you don't want to fail, right? But
nobody
sometimes
does,
happens.
but not sometimes. 90% happens.
True.
Because that's the core of entrepreneurship. That's how you learn. You learn on mistakes. You learn to make failures to progress.
Correct.
Right. So, and then we call them scams, right? But it's not necessarily scam. They made a mistake, right? I made a mistake in my previous businesses, which I mentioned, like opening a bar, was just too young, let's say, didn't understand what I'm doing. Then the next business that I opened in terms of the fitness management, as a founder, I took everything on myself, thinking that, I can run operations, marketing, fundraising, or whatsoever. And I said but I need a team for that. I need people. So the leadership skills and all these things didn't come together so easily. And I cannot say that I wanted to scam somebody, but I just made it work. Exactly. And what it is, I learned. So coming back to the basics of what we spoke about discipline, consistency, mental toughness, that you don't actually fail, you just get the lessons out of it and keep on moving forward.
So in general, in engineering, or I'm not sure if you heard about agile methodologies.
Okay.
Do you know agile methodologies?
I would love to hear a little bit more.
It's basically a concept of how do you manage the project, how do you progress. It started actually from Japanese, from Toyota. Yes, I mean they're one of the
founders. Yeah.
Not the founders, rather like the businesses that really grew and applied that. Is Toyota, when they basically started from being like unknown brand to be the world leading car maker, right? And it's about applying and researching agile, and the core concept is about this feedback loop. When you build, learn, and apply. So you always, when you build something, you measure.
I agree.
You want to measure how this build process worked. Was it efficient? What was blocking you? Yes. What were the problems or obstacles? So you measure that. Yes. You learn from that process and iterate.
That's a great example.
So if you are not able to measure while you build, let's say when you scout the people, yes, okay, like this week, I spent too much time on that and that, yes. So you need to always measure, for example, yes, what worked, what didn't work. Then analyze it, right, and then apply for the next iteration.
The funny fact is how you are saying it, and you're making it an example in your own experience. What would you say in terms of the engineering? But I got that naturally from the sport. It's everything is a loop, right?
Yes.
So
it's like you have a coach. Yes, the coach. Why you have a coach? The coach is is this is the guy who will measure you, because you yourself, it's hard to measure yourself.
Exactly.
Now with technology it's easier, yes, because maybe you can have AI, you have all these devices that will measure your performance, right? It helps, but it will not, take out the, let's say, the coach, right? Or someone who better understands it, who can really observe. That's why, like the efficient team is a team. There are people with different roles. Yes, you may have like a team lead, or like someone responsible for this part of the project, but then you have also people who are really experts in the soft skills that will really help making those all phases, right, of agile development working together.
There are levels of businesses,
right?
Like even if you want to stick it to some simple measurement of money management, right? Like when you're a kid, you're managing with 1 to 10, right? And then you scale it up to 10 to 100, and then you come to some kind of 100 to 1,000, right? So stick it to euros, and then you come to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000. But everything is like a circle and loop. What you're saying, how much you can actually, after that measurement, readjust and adapt to a next level. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So, like we are talking here about the journey of like this training, discipline, communities. But here we are now. Like you are looking and scouting for already over 100 startups, talking with them. That must be super interesting.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's always great to talk with people, first of all. Second of all, they're all also in the same, like I said, shoes in terms of the entrepreneurship, and they're all trying to build something. So even I see sometimes that not that they don't know what they're doing, but they're like vain in their mission statement or vision, because a lot of components might be missing. Okay, everybody looks for money, right? Because they believe that money will give them the opening, but that's actually a red flag when they are looking for money rather than they're looking for. I feel you that you would say like, but money is necessary to make it next step. But once, if you don't have a clear inner,
you need to have a plan for what you do with money. If you
exactly,
if you want money in the first place
to get you to the next step,
yes.
I think it's a red flag if there is like no, like what you like to say of why we are all doing this. I believe we are doing this because of some passion towards the whole aspect of that decentralized world. The next step would be where can we all build all this decentralized world together. That
right.
would be the next step.
So you are a builder. You are like now building this set of startups, trying to know them, coach them, bring them to Sui. Actually,
yes, correct.
I already heard that you did an amazing job, like looking and speaking with projects that growing their interest to Sui. Our first main goal is Sui here, and yes, our mission is really to create that BTC-Fi, yes, hashtag, which is Bitcoin finance in Sui. Yes, yesterday I had a session, Spaces, with Fusay. Hello, Fusay, if you're listening. And I highlighted that this is a very, very big game. Yes, Bitcoin finance is the most important because this is where the mind share is. People know about Bitcoin. People don't know about like other projects that much.
But okay, sorry to let's say cut you in. That's why I'm passionate about your project, because as a Bitcoiner, like not that I'm a Bitcoiner, I just entered the Bitcoin space 4 years ago, but like the whole blockchain / crypto space, right? It makes that understanding why we are all here. One more time, I don't believe so much in my banking / centralized system that I will be able to get the loan from the bank to buy some things. I invested in Bitcoin.
Right.
I'm that new generation of degen / I didn't go to buy property. I bought Bitcoin machines. I mined my Bitcoin.
Really? Oh, wow.
now getting how I get into the Bitcoin. Just why Bitcoin. And then that Bitcoin gave me freedom again, that I'm able to collateralize it and get some liquidity out of it. I learned how to do it, and it gave me, on the other side,
confidence, right? Like
freedom, financial freedom, right? On the other side, I couldn't do that with the banks.
Yes.
It's not like
you cannot create your own bank.
The bank didn't allow me to get the loan.
You cannot. Loan.
And now we're talking why? Because I was an entrepreneur in a foreign country in Dubai, where I'm like establishing myself, and I don't have support of anybody, and not especially not from the financial system that like, okay, you have secure income, you know what you're doing. I was just trying things, so never banking system was giving me that freedom to like, okay, say you have financial stability, here is another 10,000 dirhams, euros, whatever you want to currency do, and say like, this is going to be the next step, what we said, for your growth. I didn't get that, but once I got my Bitcoin, I kept it, and I said like, okay, I'm now my own bank, but I'm doing that on centralized exchanges. God forbid this centralized exchange go down. So I'm again in the loop of being not self-custodian. So that's the reason why I'm like, okay, if I still own my Bitcoin and collateralizing somehow with the platforms, with technology we are now building here, then it will give me that aspect of being next level free person to own self-custody of decentralized world and being able to.
But it's also, the community aspect is important because, this is what legitimizes that, if you are alone, then what you will do with your Bitcoin, right?
That's true.
Right?
That's
so,
what we need to, even spread more the adoption of
exactly.
that. Let me put a little bit mark on this kind of community. I love the community. I'm there for the whole space. Sometimes I'm just like thinking how this Bitcoin kind of a bit lost soul because of like getting into the ETF space, right? Where there
I think it's the other way around, right? Like the ETFs is basically they're a little bit more powerful, so they're taking our cake.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. The Bitcoin in losing the soul in terms of, the ETFs is they don't have the cap. They can print as much as more, so they can just buy Bitcoin. And the question is how much money you need for your Bitcoin. So they can come back. Okay, your price is 1 million Bitcoin. Yes, everybody's exiting Bitcoin, so they can just acquire it. You feel me?
Yeah, I understand.
We put the price on Bitcoin. That's what I want to say.
Sure.
We wanted that, but again, it's kind of double sword.
I can talk about it for hours, right?
Yeah,
because I was working in private banking, in finance.
Okay.
Yes, so there's way more into that. Yes, like we cannot. I mean, like the traditional finance world is orders of magnitude than what we have in the Web3.
Of course.
So it's not like they can do whatever they want. They come tomorrow and they can buy any liquid Bitcoin out from the market.
100%.
Yeah, so that's
now it's like $2.8 trillion market cap of whole.
Yeah, so Bitcoin is almost 2 trillion. But
it's like BlackRock is 10 trillion. Just BlackRock buys the whole Bitcoin.
Right. So but the amount of liquid Bitcoin is much smaller, right? So the point is that that's why the self custody is very important. Yes. They cannot take the Bitcoin from your wallet. They cannot. I mean, you can have the scams and everything on.
But they put the price on it. The question is on which price you would like to exit your Bitcoin.
But then
you see?
Yes.
So just that I'm saying, like, lost the true identity of peer-to-peer cashless cash, electronic cash, which is like, I want to trade with Bitcoin, right? I don't want to have the price on it, but we were looking to institutions to come here and put the price on it. Just that. But you understand what I'm saying? Sure.
That's normal. That's normal cycle, right? Like you cannot. I mean, because institutions are dominating our economy. Then if you want to have a wide adoption, the institution must be there. Otherwise, you get stuck at some point. There's
so you don't see true peer-to-peer like kind of transaction of the value.
I see that's not contradicting. What I'm saying is that if something is reaching a certain level, it's natural for institution to get exposure to not get behind at some point.
I hope that that's gonna be just a big reset. I hope we're gonna stay all healthy and everything is positive.
It still can be healthy with institutions, right? But it's really like if you reach certain level, right? The institutions must not be out of the equation, right?
I just hope that institutions will dilute their own power, right? Somehow, I don't know how.
Sure.
Right? I don't wanna say that it can be negative or positive. I'm just saying, like, if I truly believe in I want to pay you, then I don't need the third party.
So you can do it already today, right?
But there is a price.
Of course, there's always a price.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to have a price. I want to just go in with the Bitcoin to Bitcoin.
Yeah, so you can do it.
Yeah, I know you can do it, but Bitcoin has a price.
Sure. Yeah,
I don't want the price. I just want.
Oh, so you want to have a Bitcoin denominated world.
If we truly believe that this is the hardest money, or like of what we achieved as a technology.
Yeah, the problem is again, like
I don't know. I'm
just
discussing
later on,
something,
right?
Yeah.
Like the whole monetary policies, macroeconomic aspects.
Yeah.
Yes, we would need to live to make that happen. We would need to live
Third
in
World War.
no,
So-
yeah, also yes, but homogeneous world. The world is not homogeneous, meaning that we have different economies. They grow at
I
a
see.
different speed. Yes, they have like
A lot of
different
things has to
objectives.
change, yeah.
So yes, it's hard to say like
It's hard to like what's the actually system what would be substituting this capitalism, which we kind of think that this is the most adoptive system we are right now operating with.
So me myself, yes, I'm
Yes.
very against like this open capitalistic world. But today actually this is the only thing that works. Yes, because we would
don't
need to-
have other system.
I mean, there are many systems, right? There are different versions of capitalistic world, right? Like today we are, debt. So the capitalism is really measured by like so debt-denominated capitalism.
Yeah, I
Yes,
see where you're going.
because
But because
most of
based
it
on
is really
growth.
derivatives.
Yeah.
Yes, like most of the values are in derivatives. The value is not backed by assets. I'm not saying if it's wrong and right. It's like,
Exactly.
again, it's a very long and big discussion. Yes, there's all these different theories. Yes, how you measure the value of your economy. Yes, because it's not only about the asset, but also about the movement of assets. How those assets actually be utilized,
Used, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Capitalized.
That's
So
a-
capitalism is always there, a form of it. But again, that's
I
a
love
big-
it. I mean, like that's the reason we are filming this conversation because
You need to
we
have
had-
it for like another few
we
hours.
gotta like. I'm truly privileged to know you and grateful to discuss various interesting topics, which are pretty sensitive, right? And on the other side, interesting for everybody to try to wrap their head around it and like just think critical thinking and dive deeper into the whole understanding. Like I said, Bitcoin is an asset now. Everybody's talking about it, but in the end of the day, it's the best part is that we are like a strip, like it's a comic strip, right? We are talking about Satoshi Nakamoto, who has the 1 million bitcoins. It's very very nice story, and we all believe in some kind of stories. So
That's right.
now we are believing in Bitcoin story.
Yeah, so let's segue a little bit more to that part of community that you want to transact in Bitcoin and everything. Yeah, so you said that you want to believe that people will be doing it. Yeah, so our mission is kind of similar. Yes,
Nice.
we want to build that Bitcoin finance economy. It's a very long road. I wouldn't say that I mean it's another abstraction level. Yes, like to get in a Bitcoin denominated world. Like the first step is really like creating a more solid financial infrastructure. Yes, not based on like meme coins but more solid assets.
What you're building is real usage.
And actually, as you know, yes, you are now starting all the campaign for creating that Bitcoin finance in a way that we can program it in a true Web3 ethos. We are the first startup. We want to claim that we are the first project that applies the most revolutionary cryptography. That's called the non-collusive MPC. Yes, thanks to our partnership with ICA. To really use assets like Bitcoin without relying on intermediaries and also letting the Bitcoin staying conservative as it is today.
Love it.
So there is no other project that has that capability. Yesterday we released the second version of our proving system.
Congrats.
So the next testnet is coming up. We have a busy sprint. However, yes, what I want to say here is this believing aspect. So we starting that new campaign. Our mascot is bee, and we our next step, yes, is now create a community of believers, believing Bitcoin.
Okay. Perfect. I love that idea. I'm completely aligned with those values because bee is one of the most important animals in
In the world. Everything like the agriculture without the bee is dead.
Exactly. If
Yeah,
the
nobody
bee goes,
knows.
then it's finished. We are finished.
Mhm.
So, but what are the characteristics and values of bee? Hard worker, right?
Discipline.
Discipline. They're just like doing what they need to do and producing their honey, which is a byproduct for them.
And
actually
pollinating all the nature.
That's the most important thing.
That's the most-
giving the life to the
Yes.
trees and to the vegetation.
Flowers, everything,
to give
vegetables,
to
fruits.
give us again this beautiful air we are
Correct.
breathing all the time. But yeah, that's the bee. So I am aligned with that, and I'll just say the believing is one of the most important thing in this our aspect of mental capacity, right? As we spoke before, like truly believing, giving, right, loving, and then I will say something which is very hard is forgiving. But I would close.
Everyone makes mistakes. I'm sure we made some mistakes.
Always, but
But the community is here. Yes, if you believe, you go. We do the cycles: build, learn, measure, learn. Right?
I love it how you
Yes, they're all
combining through multiple layers and examples. We came to every time the same conclusion in this conversation. So yeah, like keep on believing to build something, and with these values, I believe that you will achieve goals. So best of luck. Here we are from Sui Hub to support you, and yeah, I will try to bring the other projects from the ecosystem to be built on that ethos, on that
join our like,
premise.
believers.
Generally, like to Bitcoiners, to the
Yes.
the whole decentralized world and blockchain industry, because regardless of, as you mentioned, like again we are going a circle, centralized and financial systems will always be there, but should be a parallel world who are at the moment like very small, but why not to be bigger? And then bigger means that people who really believe in that, like me, like yourself, in Bitcoin, that we can actually utilize that Bitcoin
That's
to
right.
be in the centralized world. So what I was talking about, me not being in the able with the banking system, but now I'm doing the same thing. And in this UAE, by the way, it's very, very crypto friendly, where all the things I'm doing is like collateralizing Bitcoin sometimes to get the USDT, USDC, or other stable coins, which are true blockchain primitives of the use case, right? And then just putting it on Visa, non-custodian cards whatsoever, boom, tapping and using the complete system, which is working, and nobody even knows that I'm using crypto all the time.
Victor, it's my absolute pleasure sharing the time and discussions with you
100%.
and having you in our community. Would you consider yourself native
No,
believers?
of course. Like I'm there for not just nativers, believer, and
So
Bitcoiner.
native is the other project. There's other project, but we're native.
Yes, native. Native is what is native actually? Why native?
Why native?
Yes.
Because you have this native way of. I mean, that's a good question. Yeah, so originally started that we can natively interact with Bitcoin, natively program Bitcoin without those intermediaries. Yes, you really are able with our most advanced non-collusive cryptography.
I understand what
you can interact with Bitcoin without all those intermediaries. Yes, through Web3 Bitcoin.
When I heard about
ethos.
your project that you're entering the Sui Hub, I was
Right.
very happy. And then like you got into the space by just accident that all team is here in Dubai, and knowing each of you personally makes true pleasure, and grateful for the opportunity to, as you said, talking with you. Answer to your question, yes, I'm native on that. Would love to be also connected on other social media platforms. What I will just give kind of a feedback here, I'm keep on working on progressing my own career between those two worlds, fitness and crypto. I believe the crypto for me in this environment is just like a one station for next move. I'm a true also entrepreneur, so I will connect these worlds between decentralized, usage of that crypto space, but also bridging that. I don't like to say like everybody's bridging the gaps. I'm bridging the gap in this Web 2, Web 3 traditional space where all the people from our Web3 community
Right.
will be able to utilize the fitness workouts all around the world. Like this is my kind of, that there will not be a big bridges or borders or just one particularly place where we're gonna train, where we're gonna do this. You will be in Switzerland, I will be in Dubai, we can meet in Croatia, we can meet in Thailand, Bali. So all these things by just like tapping into crypto payment system, training and working out together.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for that. So for everyone who's listening and who will listen in the future, I really recommend you to get in touch with Victor. He's a super passionate person. He's scouting for interesting projects. He has a really amazing mission that's internally from himself to do those connections, scout for passionate other founders, explore the potential. Yes, like if you have any potential, hidden potential, and you want to train yourself mentally,
physically, mentally,
yes,
and then continue building, continue believing.
Yeah,
and
so I
the
spent
things will be amazing.
100%. Yeah, I spent some time with Victor, and I absolutely recommend. So if you're in Dubai and looking for some, coach, don't think twice. We will leave the notes.
Yes, thank you very much for watching this podcast and see you around. Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Victor.